What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the current data points, what analysts are saying about SoundHound's most recent earnings, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is up 25.79%, 12.75 the low, 13.79 the high. So you're seeing a lot of volatility and a lot of volume. So within the first about 20 minutes of the trading day, 65 million shares have been traded. So today is going to be record numbers for that. And ultimately, what is moving SoundHound is Wall Street digesting their phenomenal earnings. So essentially a triple beat. So they did give very good future guidance. So they raised their revenue for 2025 to 178 million. Previously, it was 166. That's the consensus among analysts. And analysts pretty much were really hell-bent on assuming it's going to be between that 165 and 167. So for them to raise it to 178 is huge. So that's a very positive surprise. And then when it comes down to the revenue, a nice 30% surprise. So came in at 42.68 million. Estimate was 32.88. So phenomenal stuff, and still very well diversified as well. So not one customer more than 10%. All the tiers increasing double digits. So a lot of big restaurant kind of expansion has been occurring in Q2, and as well in the second half of 2025, more is anticipated. So honestly, their earnings was phenomenal. What I'm going to do near the end of the video, I'll play this for you. This does go over all the kind of finite details that you need to be aware of, and sentiment and whatever else. So kind of stay tuned for that. But ultimately, SoundHound's earnings was on point. Analysts tend to agree because we did get a couple new ratings that did come out. So $15 buy, D.A. Davidson, Gil, who has a 57% success rating. You had a also $12 hold, Piper Sandler, James, who has a 57% success rating. Couple upgrades, so $14.50 by Northland, and then a upgrade $14.50 by Mizuho. In my opinion, once the market does actually receive Daniel Ives's new rating, because most likely that should be coming, his last one was a $15 buy, but I anticipate him to come between that, I'd say $23 to $25 range, in my opinion. And once Wall Street does see that, because he's seen as the innovative analyst, whatever he tends to cover, it usually does fairly well. So once he comes back with a 22 to 25 or 23 to 25 range, then yeah, SoundHound will move to the next leg up. So yeah, I think big things are coming, and most likely you should see a couple brand new initiated coverage, so new ratings coming out, because in all fairness, a lot of analysts are just sheep. So they see a good stock that's starting to gain some momentum, and then they jump on the bandwagon. So anticipate a couple of new ratings. As a consensus, 1331 is that price target, and that does represent a 1.92% downside. Nothing really to be concerned over, in my opinion. A lot of stocks that have gone through massive expansion all have this same type of outlook. Analysts are just slow to the game. So again, it is what it is. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from that though, I know a lot of people really want to know what shorts are doing. At the time of doing this video, shorts are increasing 109,000 shares. So despite it being up like 27, 28%, you are seeing shorts still increasing. So for those of you that believe that SoundHound is a squeeze play, still on the table. And I've seen a lot of comments and DMs after hours yesterday just asking me, hey, what do you think shorts are going to do? Do you think this is going to be a squeeze? So if SoundHound is able to hold some key levels, which I'll go over in a second, then most definitely you could see some shorts start to mitigate some risk, because 34.97% of the free float being shorted is just absolute insanity. Works out to be 126.3 million shares overall being shorted. So definitely later throughout the day, things could get very interesting. And if there is some pretty big developments that does occur and pops up during the day, I can definitely do a follow-up video. But looking at the options, you do have $28 million in calls, 2.03 million in puts. So today's already going to be a record day for options. So a lot of big money is playing SoundHound, both through common stock and options. 57% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. So big money does anticipate for SoundHound to continue to move on higher. From the bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $14 range by the end of business day today. So today is Friday, of course. And then the bears are anticipating it's not really much. It looks like between that 13 and 1250 for the most part, so a little bit more downside from their viewpoint. Open interest, so something to take note of. You have 11,000 at the $11 strike price, 8,000 at 1150, 15,000 at that 12. You have 8,000 at 1250, and then 10,000 at 13. So best case scenario, if SoundHound is able to close above 13, you most definitely will be seeing a nice gamma squeeze going into next week, because market makers don't have a lot of volatile stocks such as SoundHound in their inventory, so meaning they'll have to go to the open market to actually buy it. So again, that could really stand to benefit SoundHound rolling into next week. These are all the transactions so far occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So again, today you are seeing somewhat FOMO, a lot of big money buying in, which is always a good thing. So a lot of big transactions here. Same goes for the dark pool. Dark pool often enough is used by shorts and hedge funds. So again, something to keep in mind. With it right now at 1329, it is consolidating a little bit, but 1352, that is going to be best case scenario where it does close above, because if so, then you will see huge reversal, nice trend change on the technicals. So you could see easily that $14 to $15 range hit in the short term. So for today, just watch for that 1352. Flip side, 1266 will be a strong support, and I don't really see that being touched today, even bit worst case scenario. So again, just kind of watch for that 1352. Moral of the story, no articles really coming out just yet about SoundHound, so we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But I think once Daniel Ives does give their his rating, then that should really shake things up. Limited supply of shares right now, so only 36,000 shares is available to be shorted, so most likely you could be seeing some buying as well, as big money will like to buy it just to essentially lend out. But on the actual chart, things are looking very, very good, so above all the key pivotal moving averages. Because of this nice push higher, it was able to get above that super trend, so now you'll have algorithmic trading really working on your side as well. And stochastic side, because of the recent price action, you see it somewhat neutral in nature. So it's not really overbought nor oversold, but honestly, things are looking pretty good. So right now we're going through a little bit of a consolidation, but most likely that won't last all too long, and then we should be kind of moving higher. So again, just watch for 1352. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Did you buy? Did you sell? Like, what is your kind of viewpoint on SoundHound? Like I said, I'm just going to quickly play this. It goes over all the Cole's notes and everything that you need to kind of be aware for their earnings. So let me know your thoughts. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.
𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗧, CEO, reported, "Our all-time strongest quarter in Q2 with $43 million in revenue, representing an increase of 217% year-over-year." He highlighted significant growth across automotive, AI customer service for enterprise, and AI and automation for restaurants. 𝗪𝗧𝗪 described surpassing another record, processing more than 1 billion queries per month on our platform. 𝗪𝗧𝗪 emphasized acquisition strategy success, stating SoundHound has converted the pre-merger decline to post-merger growth, with acquired companies now leaders in their field as fully integrated business units within SoundHound. All solutions are migrating to Polaris, the company's proprietary multimodal, multilingual foundation model, which 𝗪𝗧𝗪 called the best of its kind. Major product updates included the addition of Vision AI to the stack, described as engineered to bring real-time visual understanding into conversational AI systems. The agentic AI platform, 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗛, is creating upsell opportunities to convert all enterprise brands to agentic in the near future. 𝗪𝗧𝗪 stated the restaurant business is scaling rapidly, with new wins and activations, and that in automotive. The generative AI solution Chat AI has been rolled out in North America with 3 more global brands. He cited a large new deal in China, representing millions of units powering a prominent auto brand that's winning and expanding globally. Recent customer highlights included expansions with Chipotle and Firehouse Subs, new wins with IHOP, Red Lobster, Peter Piper Pizza, and a renewal with MOD Pizza. In healthcare, new deployments were announced with Alina Health and a signed deal with Primary Health Solutions. Partnerships were launched with PAR Technologies and Acrelec, and a sales partnership was formed with Avant Communications. Nitesh Sharan, CFO, stated, Q2 is a big quarter for us, with $42.7 million in revenue, up 217% year over year, with sustained high demand for our AI solutions. He noted traction across all industry verticals, highlighting early successes in the integration of our acquisitions and the full displacement of third-party ASR engines across all restaurant customers with Polaris, delivering us millions in cost savings. Sharan also reported net revenue retention jumped from less than 90% pre-acquisition to over 120% this quarter. Outlook, Sharan announced, we are increasing our outlook for 2025 revenue to $160 million to $178 million. He stated, we still expect to ramp as we exit the year. Q2 was stronger than our initial expectation because of strong close rates on major deals, Sharon explained. We believe we can achieve adjusted EBITDA profitability as we exit 2025. The guidance does not contemplate additional acquisitions. Financial results.Q2 revenue was reported as $42.7 million, up 217% year over year. GAAP gross margin was 39%, with non-GAAP gross margin at 58%. R&D expenses were $25.8 million. And sales and marketing expenses were $15.8 million. G&A expenses were $18.2 million. Non-cash employee stock compensation was $23.8 million, and depreciation and amortization, including intangibles, was $7.8 million. Adjusted EBITDA was a loss of $14.3 million. GAAP net loss was $74.7 million. GAAP net loss per share was -cents per share. Non-GAAP net loss was $11.9 million, and non-GAAP net loss per share was -3 cents. Cash and equivalents at quarter end were $230 million with no debt. A loss related to the change in fair value of contingent liabilities impacted GAAP income from operations by approximately $31 million, described as a non-operating, non-cash expense. Q&A. Gil Barnum-Luria D. Davidson asked for a ranking of vertical contributions to sequential growth. Mohajir explained, we're seeing momentum across the board, with enterprise leading, strong scaling in restaurants, and a major automotive win in China. Luria asked about competition in China. Sharan replied, we do compete against similar names in China. We win usually on the quality of the technology. Scott Christian Buck. H.C. Wainwright asked about improving selling process or pricing optimization and wallet share. Mohajir said, we are selling AI to other companies, but we're also using AI internally to improve our processes. On wallet share, Sharan stated, we're just early penetration again of a new era. Voice AI as a penetration of overall engagement is still pretty low. Leo Federico Carpio, Joseph Gunnar queried about guidance and acquisitions. Sharon explained the guidance reflects prudence and does not include additional acquisitions. On Red Lobster, Mohajir said, we've actually had them as a partner for a little while. Renewed energy in that partnership, and we're scaling. Unidentified analyst. Northland Capital Markets inquired about revenue modeling and growth drivers for H2. Mohajir said, we expect it'll ramp into the second half. Q4 will be bigger than Q3. Growth expected across Amelia software sales, phone ordering, and professional services. Thomas Blakey, Cantor Fitzgerald, sought clarity on automotive royalty opportunity and voice commerce revenue timing. Mohajir detailed multiple revenue streams in auto and said on voice commerce, we've had revenue impact from voice commerce indirectly because it has a flywheel effect. Unidentified analyst, Piper Sandler asked about QSR vertical and drive-through penetration. Mohajir explained, of the 14,000, the vast majority, or the majority, is definitely on the phone ordering. Hundreds, and we're growing fast. In drive-through. Sentiment analysis. Analysts expressed cautious optimism, probing for details on growth drivers, market penetration, and guidance conservatism. Luria and Carpio pressed on competitive differentiation and the rationale behind updated guidance, indicating a slightly positive but probing tone. Management tone remained confident and assertive during both prepared remarks and Q&A. 𝗪𝗧𝗛 repeatedly highlighted momentum, integration success, and technological differentiation. Sharon used phrases such as "we are moving towards profitability and we see that in the near-term horizon." Compared to Q1, management's tone was more upbeat, reflecting accelerated sequential growth and expanded guidance, while analysts continued to focus on sustainability and execution risk. Quarter-over-quarter comparison. Q2 featured a significant increase in revenue and an upward revision of full-year guidance. Compared to Q1's reaffirmed outlook, management highlighted all-time strongest quarter and stronger than expected close rates, while in Q1 they described another strong quarter with ongoing acquisition integration. Strategic focus shifted from early integration and pipeline expansion in Q1 to realizing acquisition synergies, product cross-sell, and operational efficiencies in Q2. Q2 introduced Vision AI and highlighted a more advanced agentic AI platform. Analysts in both quarters focused on vertical performance, guidance, and competitive positioning. Management's confidence in Q2 was higher, driven by tangible results and expanded customer wins. Risks and concerns. Management warned of quarter-to-quarter volatility due to the lumpy nature of these deals. Sharon noted, "We are still evaluating low-margin contracts as they come up for renewal and identify other areas to improve efficiency." Tariffs in the auto sector were identified as a secondary risk, potentially affecting royalties due to shipment changes. 𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗛 said, "The tariff dynamic does impact us because our ongoing revenue is royalty-based and shipment-based." Analysts raised concerns about seasonality, the pace of QSR penetration, and indirect revenue impact from voice commerce. Final takeaway: SoundHound AI delivered record quarterly revenue and raised its 2025 guidance, attributing the results to strong execution across key verticals. Successful acquisition integration and rapid innovation in conversational and agentic AI platforms. Management emphasized expanding customer wins in automotive, restaurants, and enterprise, while highlighting voice commerce as a growing catalyst for future growth. The company reiterated its focus on profitability by year-end, with ongoing cost discipline, operational efficiencies, and a strong balance sheet supporting its growth ambitions,